Hello and welcome to day 82 of biology. This is the first of our 2 days for reviewing for the final. So you can see the warm-up questions on the board. We're continuing those. These are questions going back to the genetics unit at the beginning of the year, back in January and February. So you might need to reach back in the brain a little bit to get those. So you can pause the video if you want to answer the questions here. And then we'll move on to the positive moment, class prayer, moment of silence. And if you want to pause the video, you can do that. We'll give people a chance to reflect on it. It's been a memorable school year. And then again, warm-ups, kind of looking back at those. And then looking at homework on here. So nothing particularly due at this point. I do want to point out we do have some new things on here. So Unit 6 online test rewrite is available. It's similar to Unit 5 online test rewrite. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Get that part in. We have 3 quizzes. So the final review for Unit 4, final review for Unit 5, and final review for Unit 6. So go through, look at those quizzes. They are graded, relatively small points, but they'll be looking on those today, and you can work on them today, and you can work on the next class period. But they are for reviewing for the final. And then in addition, we've got 2 extra credit things: the study guide, review checklist, and the semester 2 final study sheet. So let me jump to this slide. So this is showing you the study checklist. So this is what we have. Typically, we do this in class. Typically, it's not a graded. Typically, it's a graded thing, not an extra credit thing. But I would like students to go through and do it. So for extra credit, mostly what I'm focusing on is, have you built a study plan? So this box part of it over here. What are you going to be doing on what days to prepare? So we'll get into kind of the dates of the final and talk about that. But if you want to send me an image showing that part, that's what you can get extra credit for. All right, so final preparation questions. So these are the ones that they normally give us. We'll go over them as much as we can, and we'll kind of see what works and what doesn't work here. So percentage of the final, normally it's 20%, but due to distance learning, as I mentioned, I'm reducing it to 15%. That means at the same time that marking periods 4 through 6, well, instead of making 80%, we'll make 85%. So that gives us our 100%. So final exam is 15%. Marking period material is 85%. Okay. Calendar-wise, and again, best of my knowledge, this is kind of what we're sticking at. So we have 2 review days. We've got day 82, and we've got day 83. There's no school on Monday, and the 28th is Royal Day. Then we want to pay attention to June 1st as the science final day. English and science are on that day. And we have conflicts day, and then math and religion, and then baccalaureate and graduation. So review days, here's my plan, is for day 82. So I've made available to the students the Unit 6 online test review, or test rewrite, semester 2 review quizzes, and then the extra credit study checklist and study guide. And on Canvas, there's a bunch of additional resources as well: Quizlet, Kahoots, things like that. There is a day 82 discussion. Any questions posted on day 82 discussion will be answered as part of the review for day 83. So on day 83, I'm going to post and go over questions students posed on day 82 discussion, and then I'll be available through Canvas chat on day 83. So if we jump back to our calendars, that's going to be Tuesday the 26th or Wednesday the 27th, depending on what class you're in. I'll be available for Canvas chat from 10 a.m. to noon, and then from 1 to 4 p.m. To answer questions on there. I may kind of be doing some other things, so it may take me a moment, but I will be checking Canvas chat pretty much all day long. That's my plan, is to be online that whole stretch of that day. Online final format. So similar to what I said before. So there'll be a matching section, a multiple choice section, and an essay section. So the matching is similar to what we've done for the online testing for distance learning. There'll be 4 to 6 sets of 5 matching terms. 5 points for each set, for a total of somewhere between 20 and 30 points. You'll be allowed 2 attempts with a time limit of 40 minutes for each attempt on there. For the multiple choice, there'll be 1 multiple choice section with a total of 40 to 50 questions. So that at 1 point each, that gets at 40 to 50 points. You'll be allowed 2 attempts there with a total time limit of 80 minutes. And then for the essay question, there'll be 1 essay question, pretty much just this. I'll have a little bit more to it than that in terms of I'll format it a little bit better so you can kind of see what's there. but it'll make up the remainder of the points. So whatever this totals, the remainder here will come make it up to 100 points altogether. So this is looking for an evaluation of the course, what we did so we can improve it for next time, what worked well for you, what did we do that was a challenge for you, are the labs you especially thought were useful or labs were not so useful and should be replaced, what part of distance learning worked for you, and what did not, and then anything else I should know. And I'll put on there 2 attempts with a time limit of 30 minutes. I'll be doing my best to kind of grade those throughout the day as students turn them in, because I think they have to be graded before you can make it a second attempt on it. But those, because you have the question in advance, you should be able to get that set up pretty quickly. And if you want to, have it written somewhere else and copy and paste it, that's totally fine too. All right, the schedule for it. So the science final is scheduled for June 1st. My plan for the sciences, for biology, is to make the sections starting available at 11 a.m. in the morning, because we're the second final. Normally we would start at like 11:30, and then closing at 5 p.m. That gives you a 6-hour window to kind of go through and take all the parts of the final. I understand this may overlap with English, but I also understand that some English classes are doing projects. So, or some people have second science. So if this is a conflict for you, let me know as soon as possible, and I can arrange to extend the biology final closing time past 5 o'clock, depending on how much time is needed. There's also a small, should be changed, chance. There's also a small chance that I may need to alter these times, but if I do so, I'll let people know as soon as possible. So hopefully that's not the case. Resources. So like we looked at first semester, so old tests, paper tests, or online tests are really good resources. I know we can't directly go back and look at the unit tests for Unit 5 and Unit 6, but you can go back and take the unit quizzes, which contain many of the same questions there. Digital resources, Canvas quizzes, Quizlet will help out. Workbook A for the sections that we looked at with there. So go through, create your own questions. If you're in contact with some other person, being in touch with them is a good way to kind of work through those questions. Then textbooks, there's questions at the end of each chapter, and you can identify the keywords and definitions. Again, don't just read through stuff. The more you can be interactive with material, the better off you are. What will we do in the review days? So I kind of mentioned that a little bit ago. And then pearls of wisdom regarding this final or finals in general. Yeah, study early, study often, study by answering questions. If possible, study with another person. Don't simply reread material and don't expect to do well if you haven't prepared. There are study guides that I have on Canvas, and I'll be working on kind of updating them as we go. So the big thing you can do is identify the information you know well and need to review the least. Identify information you know the least well and you need to focus on. And really the big thing you want to say is, can I explain the concepts? Can I define these terms? And that's where if you've got somebody you can talk to, that's a good way to look at it. Procedure, I'd recommend if you've got questions, post those on kind of discussion day 82 on Canvas as you go. Work on the Unit 6 test rewrites. Work on those online review quizzes, and then as you got time, work on the extra credit study checklist or the extra credit study guide. And then next class, we'll be answering any of the questions that were posted on day 82. So that kind of rounds us out for day 81 review, or probably day 82 review. Certainly post questions, and I'll be answering those. So that closes me out for today. All right.